Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, February 12th, 2021. Big show today. College basketball, NBA, and NHL. We'll look back on yesterday's games, look ahead to today's and the weekend's games in each sport. Australian Open, we'll go over yesterday's and this morning's matches and look ahead to Saturday's matches. We don't have any matchups for Sunday yet, as I know right now. NASCAR, we will preview and predict winners of all the races from Cup to Truck to Xfinity. Nhl Power Rankings for the week and my best bet of the day. We're going to start in college basketball. We will go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to the games today. So, without further ado, here we go. Longwood over Gardner-Webb, 57-54. Austin Peay over Tennessee Martin, 71-50. Minnesota over number 24 Purdue, 71-68. Pacific over Portland, 84-57. Wagner over Fairleigh Dickinson, 76-72. High Point over Charleston Southern, 77-73. Utah over Cal, 76-75. Winthrop over Radford, 80-64. Presbyterian over Hampton, 85-70. Georgia State over Georgia Southern, 79-75. Campbell over UC Upstate. Or USC Upstate, 72-71. Kansas over Iowa State, 97-64. Colorado over Stanford, 69-51. St. Francis Brooklyn over St. Francis, Pennsylvania, 70-67. Merrimack over Central Connecticut State, 62-46. Mount St. Mary's over Long Island, 66-60. Texas State over UT Arlington, 63-56. South Alabama over Troy, 73-70. Montana over Weber State, 80-67. Eastern Washington over Montana State, 93-77. Arizona over Oregon State, 70-61. Yale Monroe over Louisiana, 72-66. Jacksonville State over Eastern Illinois, 76-64. Oregon over Arizona State, 75-64. Fresno State over Air Force, 69-63. SCU Edwardsville over Tennessee Tech, 81-63. Morehead State over Tennessee State, 79-66. Belmont over Eastern Kentucky, 92-74. Idaho State over Idaho, 63-43. Or 69-43. Number 20 USC over Washington, 69-54. Boise State over UNLV, 78-66. And Washington State over UCLA, 81-73. His best bet was a big fat loser. All right. Today's game's 12 o'clock. UIC against IUPUI. My projection here is IUPUI as a 1-point favorite. And IUPUI is let's see here. 3-point underdog. I'm taking IUPUI plus the points. Next up, 1 o'clock, Canisius and Quinnipiac. My line is Canisius 5, and it's Quinnipiac 4.5. I'm taking Canisius in the points, and I would take them straight up, whatever that is as well. 4 o'clock, Gardner-Webb Longwood. My line is Gardner-Webb 5.5. And I don't see a lineup yet on FanDuel. ESPN has Gardner-Webb 2.5, so I'm going to lay the points with Gardner-Webb. St. Francis Brooklyn at St. Francis, Pennsylvania. My line is Brooklyn by 0.5. And Pennsylvania's 3-point favorite. So I'm going to take Brooklyn plus the points to win outright. And plus whatever the money line is. Money lines are not out yet. Long Island, Mount St. Mary's. My line is Mount St. Mary's 1.5. And it is 3. I don't have a total up yet. So I have to take Long Island in the points. Presbyterian Hampton. My line is Hampton 2. It's Hampton 3. So I have to take Presbyterian. And the totals aren't on ESPN because those 4 o'clock games, for whatever reason, FanDuel didn't have. 5 o'clock, Manhattan, Iona. The return of Iona, who's a projected 9-point favorite by me, and they're favored by 4.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Iona against Manhattan. Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Youngstown State. My line is Youngstown State 3.5, and it's 5. Total 151. I am taking the over. Northern Kentucky, Green Bay. My line's Northern Kentucky 11. And it's 1.5. I'm laying the 1.5. That is a layup. A layup. 6 o'clock, Stetson and Kennesaw State. My line, Stetson, 10.5. And FanDuel, I don't see a lineup on FanDuel yet. ESPN has Stetson 5.5, so I'm going to lay the 5.5 with Stetson. Charleston Southern High Point, my line is High Point 7, and it's 7.5, so I have to take Charleston Southern for the time being until I see a total. Winthrop Bradford, my line's Winthrop 8.5. And that game get postponed? Oh no, it moved to 7 o'clock. Winthrop 6 is the line. So I'm gonna lay it with Winthrop against Radford. I didn't realize that was a 7 o'clock game. That's my fault. Southeast Missouri State against Murray State. My line is can't even find that one either. Where is that? My projection is Murray State by 7.5, and it is. Yeah, I apologize. They didn't move in the game times on me. 13. So I'm taking Southeast Missouri State plus the points. All right, back on track. Next up, North Florida Liberty. My line is Liberty 7. And it is Liberty 14. So I'm taking North Florida and the points against Liberty. Middle Tennessee against Marshall. My line is Marshall 7. And it is Marshall 17. So I'm going to take Middle Tennessee plus the big number. Long Beach State and UC Davis. My number's Davis 1, and it's 7.5. I'm taking Long Beach State and the points. 7 o'clock, Temple, Cincinnati. My line is Cincinnati 6, and it's 6.5. Total's 137. I'm taking the under, but I don't feel good about it. South Carolina Upstate Campbell. My line is Campbell 6.5, and it's 3.5. I'm going to lay to 3.5 with Campbell. ESPN 2, St. Bonaventure, VCU. My line is Bonaventure by 1, and it's VCU 3. I'm taking Bonaventure plus the 3 and plus 115. Or I'm sorry, minus 115 and plus whatever it is on the money line. UMass Lowell and Albany. UMass Lowell and Albany. UMass Lowell by 1 is my projection. And FanDuel doesn't have one. Albany's favored by 3. So I'm taking the points. Tulane UCF. I have a pick'em. And it's Central Florida 5.5. I take it Tulane plus the points easy. Merrimack and Central Connecticut. My line is Merrimack 9. And it is Merrimack 4.5. I'm laying the points at Merrimack. Milwaukee Wright State. My line is Wright State 17. And Wright State is favored by 17.5. So I have to take the points. I don't see a total out for this game. Oakland Robert Morris. My line is Oakland 2. And it's a pick'em. So I'm taking the points. Liberty and well, actually, no, I'm sorry. It's a pick'em, so I'm taking Oakland. in the pick'em. What am I saying? I'm taking the points. Whoops. Liberty in North Alabama. My line is Liberty 4.5. And Liberty is oh wait, we did that game already. Liberty's 14, and I said I'd take the points. But wait, yeah, disregard that, guys. Sorry. Lipscomb, Jacksonville. My line is Lipscomb 8. And it's 4.5, so I'm laying it with Lipscomb against Jacksonville. FAU, UTSA. My line's UTSA by 1.5. And it is 4.5, so I'm taking the points. Akron and Miami of Ohio on ESPNU. My line is Akron 6. And it is Akron 4, so I'm laying the points. UC San Diego, Cal State, Bakersfield. My line is Bakersfield 7. And it's 9, so I'm taking UC San Diego in the points. UC Irvine and UC Riverside. My line is Irvine 6. And it's 1.5, so I'm going to lay to 1.5 with Irvine. Cal State Fullerton and Cal Poly got canceled. 7:30 UAB and Louisiana Tech. My line is Louisiana Tech by 3. And it's 1, so I'm laying the 1 with Louisiana Tech. 8 o'clock CBS Sports Network, Western Michigan against Buffalo. Buffalo by 12 is my projection. And we don't have a line out yet. I do expect Buffalo to go out there and kick butt. ACC Network, Georgia Tech against Clemson. My line is Clemson 1. And it's 3.5. I'm taking Georgia Tech plus the points at minus 105. Omaha and UMKC. My line is Omaha 2. And it's UMKC 6.5. I'm taking Omaha plus the points, whatever the money line is, straight up. Denver and Western Illinois. My line's Western Illinois by 1. And it's Western Illinois by 6.5. I'm taking Denver plus the 6.5 to cover. Rice and Western Kentucky. My line is Western by 9.5, and that's what it is. Total's 148.5. I'm taking the under at minus 115. North Texas and Southern Miss. My line is North Texas 14, and it's 8.5. So I'm laying 8.5 with North Texas. Dixie State, Utah Valley. My line is Utah Valley 8, and it's 9.5. Total 147. I'm taking the under. 8:30 Little Rock, Arkansas State. My line is Little Rock 4.5. And it's 3. Total 143. I'm taking the under at minus 115. 9 o'clock Big Ten Network. Number 6 Illinois and Nebraska. My line is Illinois 16.5. And it's 14.5. I'm laying the 14.5 with Illinois against Nebraska. ESPNU, Detroit Mercy, Cleveland State. My line is Cleveland State by 9. 2.5. I'm laying the 2.5 with Cleveland State. Florida International, UTEP. My line's UTEP 2, and it's 7.5. I'm taking Florida International plus a 7.5. New Mexico State, Seattle. My line is New Mexico State by 4, and it's 8. I'm taking Seattle plus the 8. I love that pick. And last but not least, we don't have a line out for this. Is UC Santa Barbara and Hawaii. My line is UC Santa Barbara by 6.5. I apologize, guys. I really did not come as prepared. And that's partially due to the ESPN app, randomly adding games that I didn't have written down. So I had to do some math on the fly here. I apologize. I'm just going to go through the game Saturday really quick. 12 o'clock ESPN number 4, Ohio State hosts Indiana. Wake at number 17, Florida State. ESPN2, number 22, Loyola Chicago at Drake. ESPNU, Kansas State at number 23, Oklahoma State. On Fox, UConn, Xavier. And by the way, Kansas State, Oklahoma State's ESPNU, if I didn't mention that. UIC, IPOI, Citadel, Chattanooga. 1 o'clock, number 12, Oklahoma against number 14, West Virginia. That's a great game. Canisius, Quinnipiac. Vandy, Mississippi State. CBS, Auburn, Kentucky. Why is that game on CBS? Kentucky sucks this year, and so does Auburn. Sanford, VMI. Northeastern, Towson, Alon, Charleston. 1:30, Butler, Georgetown on CBS Sports Network. Longhorn Network, 2 o'clock, TCU at number 13, Texas. ESPN, number 16, Tennessee at LSU. BU, Holy Cross. Colgate Army, Stony Brook, Vermont. NJIT, Hartford. Boston, Syracuse on the ACC Network. Norfolk State, Morgan State. ESPN2, Oregon, Arizona. George Washington, LaSalle. Bowling Green, Toledo. Western Carolina, Furman. Unity, Greensboro, Mercer. Northern Illinois, Kent State. Hofstra, James Madison. Idaho, Idaho State. Eastern Washington, Montana State, 2:30 on Fox. Number 15, Iowa at Michigan State. Sacramento State, Cal Baptist at 3 o'clock. UMass Lowell, Albany. Fresno Air Force. Milwaukee, Wright State. Texas Arlington, Texas State. Georgia State, Georgia Southern. ABC, Kansas, Iowa State. Why is Kansas continuing to be on national TV? They're not that good. Well, it's more about their opponent this time than them in Iowa State. 3:30 SEC Network, Georgia, number 11, Alabama. CBS Sports Network, St. Louis, Fordham. South Dakota, North Dakota, 4 o'clock, ESPN2. Arkansas, number 10, Missouri. Stetson, Kennesaw State, Loyola, Maryland at Lafayette. Illinois State, Southern Illinois. Nevada, San Jose State. ESPN, Duke at NC State. Again, why is a bad Duke team on ESPN? I don't know. UAB, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee, Marshall. Charlotte, Old Dominion, FAU, UTSA. Wofford East, Tennessee State, 4:30, Weber State, Montana, 5 o'clock on Fox, number 5, Villanova at number 19, Creighton, great game. Big Ten Network, Northwestern at number 25, Rutgers. Manhattan, Iona, Fairfield, St. Peters, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Youngstown State. Northern Kentucky, Green Bay, Oakland, Robert Morris, SAU, Edwardsville, Jacksonville State. Eastern Kentucky, Tennessee State. Eastern Illinois, Tennessee Tech. Morehead State, Belmont. North Florida, Liberty. South Alabama, Troy. Louisiana, UL Monroe. North Texas, Southern Miss. 5:30, Alcorn State, Mississippi Valley State. Alabama A&M, Alabama State. 6 o'clock, ESPN2. Number 1, Gonzaga at San Francisco. ESPN, North Carolina at number 9, Virginia. Decent game. Bradley, Missouri State. Ole Miss, South Carolina on SEC Network. Southeast Missouri State, Austin Peay. Lipscomb, Jacksonville. Central Arkansas, Sam Houston State. Arkansas State, Little Rock. Lamar at Houston Baptist. CBS Sports Network, Rice, Western Kentucky. Southern Arkansas, Pine Bluff. Texas Southern, Grambling at 6:30. 7 o'clock, Wagner, Fairleigh Dickinson. Duquesne, George Mason. Rhode Island, Davidson. Detroit Mercy, Cleveland State. Bellarmine, North Alabama. Pacific, Loyola Marymount. UC San Diego, Cal State Bakersfield. Long Beach State, UC Davis. Cal State Fullerton, Cal Poly. 7:30 UCLA at Washington on Pac-12 Network. 8 o'clock ESPNU, number 20 USC at Washington State. Providence, DePaul. Valpo, Northern Iowa. McNeese, Northwestern State. Nichols, Southeast Louisiana. South Dakota State, Oral Roberts. Denver, Western Illinois. Omaha, UMKC. Dixie State, Utah Valley. CBS Sports Network, St. Mary's at Pepperdine. 8:30 Tennessee Martin, Murray State. A&M Corpus Christi, Abilene Christian. 9 o'clock FIU and UTEP. New Mexico State in Seattle. 10 o'clock Pac-12 Network, Utah, Stanford. ESPNU, Colorado, Cal. Fox Sports 1, UNLV, Boise State. UC Santa Barbara, Hawaii. And at midnight Eastern on ESPNU, UC Irvine at UC Riverside. Sunday, Valentine's Day, 12 o'clock, Stony Brook, Vermont. 1 o'clock, CBS. Number 3, Michigan at number 21, Wisconsin. So the return of the Wolverines. UCF, Cincinnati, along Charleston. Northeastern, Towson. 2 o'clock, NJIT, Hartford. Norfolk, Morgan. ESPNU, Tulane, South Florida. Hopes for James Madison. 3 o'clock, ESPN2, number 22, Loyola Chicago at Drake. 4 o'clock, Sacramento State, Cal Baptist. Marquette, Seton Hall. Nebraska, Penn State on Big Ten Network. 3:30, South Dakota, North Dakota. 4 o'clock, ACC Network, Pitt, Georgia Tech. Indiana State, Evansville. ESPNU, Wichita, SMU. Bradley, Missouri State. Illinois State, Southern Illinois. 5 o'clock, Holy Cross, BC. Or BU, my bad. Fairfield, St. Peters. 6 o'clock, St. Mary's. Maryland at Richmond. Lafayette, Loyola, Maryland. Colgate Army. AC Network, Miami, Notre Dame. 7 o'clock, Valpo, Northern Iowa. ESPN2, Oregon State, Arizona State. Big Ten Network, Maryland hosting Minnesota. And 8 o'clock, South Dakota State at Oral Roberts. So there you have it for college basketball for the weekend. Now we'll move on to the NBA and look back on last night's games, and we will look ahead to the games for tonight and the rest of the weekend. Heat over the Rockets 101-94, Celtics over the Raptors 120-106, Pacers over the Pistons 111-95, Warriors over the Magic 111-105, and Trailblazers over the 76ers 118-114. All right, tonight's window, 7 o'clock. You have the Knicks against the Wizards. No Bradley Beal tonight. My projections: Knicks 5, total 220.5. Yes, I do have the Knicks favored here because I know Bradley Beal. And the Knicks are favorites by 3.5, total 218. I have an edge on the a bigger edge on the over than I do on the Knicks. So I'm going to take the over 218 at minus 114. I think the Knicks minus 3.5 is overinflated. Timberwolves Hornets. My line is Charlotte 2.5, total 223. Meanwhile, it's Charlotte 4.5, total 227. I'm taking the under. San Antonio Atlanta at 7:30. My line is Atlanta by a half, total 223. Meanwhile, it's Atlanta 1.5, total 226. I'm taking the under at minus 114. ESPN 7:30. Pelicans Mavericks. So it's Zion against Luka. Dallas 2, total 225. Meanwhile, it's Dallas 3, total 233.5. I have to take the under at minus 140. That's overinflated. Clippers Bulls at 8 o'clock. My line is Clippers 10.5, total 227. Meanwhile, it's Clippers 6.5, total 229. I'm laying it with the Clippers. Pistons Celtics. My line is Boston 13, total 221.5. Meanwhile, it's Boston 8, total 215. I'm taking the Celtics minus the points, although I have an edge on the over as well, but I don't feel good about that. Thunder Nuggets at 9 o'clock. My line is Nuggets 9.5, total 225. Denver 12, total 223 is what it is on FanDuel. I'm going to take the... this is tough. Because of the possibility of SGA being out, I'm taking the... I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to take the over. Bucks Jazz. My line's Jazz 5.5, total 227. Well, Jazz 3, total 233. I'm taking the under. 10 o'clock, ESPN Grizzlies Lakers. My line is Lakers 11.5, total 220. And it's Lakers 7.5, total 218.5. Potentially no Anthony Davis. So my line would then go down to 8.5. So then I have a 1-point edge on the Lakers. In the total 220. I'm going to lay it with the Lakers. I don't feel good about it, though. And then last but not least, Magic Kings. Great game. Or not great game, but an entertaining potential game. My line, Sacramento 7, total 224. Meanwhile, it's Sacramento 8, total 223.5. I'm stuck here. I have to take Orlando plus the 8 at minus 106. I hate it, but that's the only route that I can go. All right, Saturday. 3 o'clock, NBA TV, 76ers Suns, 7:30, Pacers Hawks, 8 o'clock, Rockets Knicks, 8:30, ABC, Nets Warriors, 9 o'clock, Heat Jazz. Nets Warriors, by the way, Durant returns to Golden State as a net. So that should be fun. And on Valentine's Sunday, 1 o'clock, NBA TV, Celtics Wizards, 7 o'clock, Timberwolves Raptors, Spurs Hornets, Pelicans Pistons, 7:30 ESPN, Trailblazers Mavericks. 8 o'clock Bucks Thunder, 9 o'clock Magic Suns, 10 o'clock ESPN Lakers Nuggets. Great game on ESPN Sunday night. Grizzlies Kings, and NBA TV the Cavaliers against the Clippers. So we have a game on NBA TV and on ESPN at the same time. I don't think I recall that ever happening other than potentially in the playoffs. All right, NHL time. We will go over the games from last night and we will look ahead to tonight and the weekend's games. Penguins over the Islanders 4-3 in a shootout. Panthers over the Lightning 5-2. Blue Jackets over the Blackhawks 6-5. Preds over the Red Wings 3-2. Oilers over the Canadiens 3-0. Jets over the Sens 5-1. Hurricanes over the Stars 5-3. Flames over the Canucks 3-1. Ducks over the Golden Knights 1-0. Kings over the Sharks 6-2. All right, tonight only 2 games. 7 o'clock, you have the Bruins and the Rangers from Madison Square Garden. Bruins minus 186, Rangers plus 156, over under 5.5, over minus 120, under even money. Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 150, Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 178. I love the under at even money. The Ranger goalies have been playing a lot better, and Tuukka Rask has been playing well as well. So I like under 5.5 at even money. And 9 o'clock, Blues Coyotes. The Blues are minus 132. The Coyotes plus 112. Over under 5.5. Overs plus 105. Unders minus 125. Blues minus 1.5 is plus 220. Coyotes plus 1.5 is minus 270. These two teams have been over lately, and I think that the market is failing to adjust. So I'm going to go over 5.5 at minus 105. Saturday, 3 o'clock, Senators Jets. 4 o'clock, Golden Knights Sharks. 7 o'clock, Bruins Islanders. Lightning Panthers. Canadians Maple Leafs. 8 o'clock, Blue Jackets Blackhawks. Red Wings Predators. Hurricane Stars. Blues Coyotes, and 10 o'clock Flames Canucks. Sunday, Valentine's Day. Only 2 games. There's supposed to be 3, but Flyers Rangers was postponed. That was supposed to be the first game on NBC, but it's not. So only 1 game on NBC. 3 o'clock Capitals Penguins, and then 7 o'clock on NBCSN you have the Avalanche and the Golden Knights. Those are 2 really good games on national TV for the NHL for the weekend. Now we'll do Australian Open. We will go over yesterday's and this morning's results in each the men's and the women's, and we'll look ahead to tomorrow as well. We're going to start with the men's like we normally do. Number 23, Dusan Lajovic over Pedro Martinez in 4. Number 6, Alexander Zverev over Adrian Manarino in 3. Number 18, Grigor Dimitrov over Pablo Carreno Busta in 2. Number 2, Rafael Nadal over Michael Momo in 3. Number 4, Daniil Medvedev over Roberto Cabrera Baena in 3. Number 21, Alex de Minaur over Pablo Cuevas in 3. Cameron Norrie over Roman Safulin in 4. And number 16, Fabio Fognini over Salvador Caruso in 5. This morning, number 1, Novak Djokovic over number 27, Taylor Fritz in 5. Number 3, Dominic Thiem over Nick Kyrgios in 5. Number 20, Felix Auger-Aliassime over Denis Shapovalov, number 11, in 3. Number 14, Milos Raonic over Martin Fucsovics in 4. And Aslan Karastev upsets number 8, Diego Schwartzman in 3. And then number 24, Casper Ruud and Radu Abalt tonight. Number 4, Daniil Medvedev over and Filip Krajinovic, number 28. Mackenzie McDonald and Lloyd Harris. Number 7, Andre Rublev and Feliciano Lopez. And number 5, Stefano Tsitsipas and Mikael Ymer, all tonight. And I picked those on yesterday's show. The rest of the third round tonight, number 9, Matteo Berrettini, and number 19, Karen Kakdava will go with Berrettini. Number 16, Fabio Fognini, and number 21, Alex de Minaur will go with de Minaur. Number 2, Rafael Nadal and Cameron Norrie will go with Nadal. Fourth round, number 3, Dominic Thiem, and number 18, Grigor Dimitrov will go with Thiem. Number 1, Novak Djokovic, and number 14, Milos Raonic will go with Djokovic. Number 20, Felix Auger-Aliassime and Aslan Karastev will go with Auger-Aliassime. And number 6, Alexander Zverev, and number 23, Dusan Lajovic, and we'll go with Zverev in that one for Saturday. All right, we'll go over the women's from yesterday and look ahead to today, and I'll still look back on this morning's matches, and Saturday we'll look ahead to as well. Number 3, Naomi Osaka over number 27, Ons Jabeur in 2. Number 10, Serena Williams over Anastasia Potapova in 2. Number 14, Gabriela Muguruza over Zarina Diaz in 2. Hisai Sui over Sara Errani in 3. Number 7, Aryna Sabalenka over An Lee in 2. Number 19, Marketa Vondrousa over Sarana Saresta in 2. Jessica Pegula over Samantha Stosur in 2. Number 5, Alina Civiltina over Coco Gauff in 2. Kristina Mladenovic over Nao Hibino in 2. And Kaja Juvan over Meyer Sharif in 3. This morning's results, number 15, Iga Swiatek over Fiona Ferro in 2. And number 2, Simona Halep over number 32, Veronika Kudermetova in 2. All right, tonight's matches again, Karolina Muchova and Karolina Pliskova. Alina Civiltina and Yulia Pustenva. Jessica Pegula and Kristen Mladenovic. 28, Donna Vecek and Kaya Kanepi. Jennifer Brady and Kaja Juvan, and Elise Mertens and Belinda Bencic. Saturdays we're going to pick, and by the way, I picked today's matches on yesterday's show. All right. So number 21, Annette Kontaveit and Shelby Rogers. We're going to go with Kontaveit in 3. Number 1, Ashley Barty, and number 29, Ekaterina Alexandrova. We'll go with Barty in 2. 4th round, number 3, Naomi Osaka. Number 14, Gabriela Magruska. We'll go with Osaka in 3. Number 2, Simona Halep. And number 15, Iga Swiatek. We'll go with Halep in 3. Number 19, Marketa Vondrousova and Hisai Sui. We'll go with Vondrousova in 2. And great matchup, number 10, Serena Williams, and number 7, Aryna Sabalenka. We'll go with Serena in 3 for Saturday. Now we will preview and predict NASCAR 2021 as well as the races for the weekend. I'm going to check and see if we do have a starting lineup for the Truck Series for Xfinity and Truck. So the entry list. All right, so you got, for the trucks, Jordan Anderson, Tyler Ankrum, Norm Benning, Danny Bone, Spencer Boyd, James Boucher, Ray Cicerelli, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Matt Crafton, Dawson Cram, Sheldon Creed, Brian Dawsett, Spencer Davis, Gustine, Haley Deegan, Drew Dollar, Grant Effinger, Tate Fogelman, Stuart Friesen, David Gilliland, Todd Gilliland, Tanner Gray, Clay Greenfield, Austin Hill, Carson Hosfar, Jesse Awuji, Parker Klingerman, Derek Cross, Raphael Lesser, Brett Moffitt, Joe Nemechek, John Hunter Nemechek, Todd Peck, Timothy Peters, Chase Purdy, Ben Rhodes, Cody Rohrbach, Corey Roper, Johnny Sauter, Austin Wayne Self, Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, Ryan Truex, Tim Vaines, Jason White, and Chris Wright. That's an ABC order. That's the what we call the entry list. Not everybody will be in the race. I personally think that DraftKings has better NASCAR odds than FanDuel. So when I use DraftKings, I normally do for NASCAR. So we have the Daytona 500 up. But we do not have, or do we have the trucks? Yes, we do have it up. I'm going to go with Johnny Sauter tonight at 16-1 to win the Lucas Oil 150 and to win the championship this year. We talked about John Hunter Nemechek on the show on Monday with Mags. That's who my pick is going to be to win the Truck Series championship this season. Xfinity. We're going to go through the entry list for the Xfinity race for Daytona. Jeffrey Earnhardt, Michael Annett, Matt Snyder, Brett Moffitt, Tyler Reddick, Landon Castle, Matt Mills, Ryan Vargas, Justin Allgaier, Joe Graf Jr., Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Jeff Burton, Justin Haley. We don't know who's running in the Motorsports Business Management car, the number 13, that says TBA. Colby Howard, AJ Allmendinger, Cody Ware, Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric, Jason White, Chris Cockrum, Brendan Godvik, Jordan Anderson, Alex Labb, Brian Sieg, Tommy Joe Martins, Kyle Weatherman, Danny Bone, Jeremy Glemitz, Gary Galding, Ty Dillon, Robbie Lyons II, Timmy Hill, Brandon Brown, Bailey Curry, Ronnie Bassett Jr., Jesse Little, Cesar Bassarella, Mario Gosselin, Josh Williams, Riley Herbst, and Stephon Parsons. My pick this year to win the Xfinity Series, I'm going to go with someone I think is very talented and somebody that I think that has potential in the future. I am going to go with Noah Gragson, someone who I'm surprised didn't get promoted to the Sprint Cup Series. And I think that he's going to have a big chip on his shoulder. So I'm going to go with Noah Gragson to win the Xfinity Series Championship. So I disagree with our friend Jeff Maglicetti. He went with Justin Haley, who I think has a great shot at this too as well. So for a winner for the race, I'm going to go with Jeb Burton at 14-1 to win the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 at Daytona. And last but not least, the great American race, the Daytona 500. 2:30 on Fox. It's going to be a great race like it is every year. The starting lineup: Alex Bowman, William Byron, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Chris Bell, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Ryan Preece, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, Corey LaJoie, Michael McDowell, David Reagan, Jamie McMurray. That's a name I haven't heard in a minute. Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chris Boucher, Matt DiBenedetto, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Cole Custer, Joey Gase, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Eric Jones, Derek Cope, Quinn Houff, Ross Chaston, Cody Ware, Anthony Alfredo, Josh Palicki, BJ McLeod, Austin Cindric, and Kaz Gralla. And for this race, I'm going to go with what I think would be the biggest feel-good story we're going to see in sports potentially in a long time. The gentleman that should have won the Daytona 500 a year ago. The person who I had money on to win the Daytona 500. But unfortunately got into a brutal accident. But luckily he's okay and back racing. I'm going to go with the long shot here. He is 35-1. I'm going to go with Ryan Newman. I think that'd be the biggest story. 35-1 for Ryan Newman. I think that would be the biggest story of the weekend in sports, perhaps, because of what happened a year ago, and to see him rebound and get redemption would mean a lot to his colleagues and would mean a lot to NASCAR fans and sports fans around the world. So I'm going to go with Ryan Newman, the feel-good story, at 35-1 to win the Daytona 500. Now I'm going to do my NHL Power Rankings for the week. I'm going to try to be very, very quick here with this. So without further ado, here we go. Number 31 is the Ottawa Senators. I mean, that's obvious. They're terrible. They're 2-12-1. Number 31 is the Detroit Red Wings. They're also terrible. They are 3-10-2. Number 29, the Los Angeles Kings, 4-6-3. They've been a little bit better than I thought, but they're still not good. 28 is the Sharks, 5-6-1, 11 points. Number 27, Devils, 4-3-2, 10 points. They should be coming back from their COVID hiatus soon. 26, the Buffalo Sabres, 4-4-2, 10 points. They should be coming back soon as well. 25, the Vancouver Canucks, 6-11. They've been very disappointing. Arguably the most disappointing team in the Western Conference and maybe in the entire league. 24 is the Nashville Predators. And 6-8. Number 23 is the New York Rangers, 4-5-3, 11 points. 22 is the Coyotes, 6-5-1 with 13 points. The Ducks at 21 for me. 6-6-3. 20's the Wild at 6-5. 19's the Chicago Blackhawks. At 6-5-4, 16 points. I'm just not buying. 18's the Islanders, 5-4-3, 13 points. Number 18's the Pittsburgh Penguins, 6-5-1, with the big win last night, 13 points. 16 is the Dallas Stars, 5-3-3. They've been okay since their COVID pause, 13 points. 15, the Washington Capitals, 6-3-3, 15 points. They've fallen off after their hot start. 14, the Columbus Blue Jackets, 7-5-3, 17 points. 13, the Carolina Hurricanes, 8-3, 16 points. They should be a little higher than this, personally. 12, the Edmonton Oilers. They are 9-7 with 18 points. You know what? I'm going to bump the Hurricanes up a couple spots. So the Oilers are now 13. Or the Flames will be 12. And they are 7-5-1, 15 points. 11, the Winnipeg Jets at 8-4-1, 17 points. 10, the Colorado Avalanche, 7-3-1, 15 points. 9th, the St. Louis Blues, 7-4-2, 16 points. 8th, the Florida Panthers, 8-1-2, 18 points. Big win last night. I'm moving the Hurricanes to 7th. I had them too low. I don't know why they were put right there. They're 8-3 with 16 points. 5, the Philadelphia Flyers, 8-3-2 with 18 points. 4, the Golden Knights, 8-2-1, 17 points. 3, the Tampa Bay Lightning, 9-2-1, 19 points. 2, the Boston Bruins, 9-1-2, 20 points. And number 1, if there wasn't any doubt, the Toronto Maple Leafs, 11-2-1 at 23 points. All right, abbreviated power rankings for today. And I made it more abbreviative than I would have initially thought because there is humongous breaking news out of the NFL. The Houston Texans released J.J. Watt. That is unbelievable. J.J. Watt announced it himself. He posted a video on social media. Houston, I wanted you to hear this directly from me. This is my initial thought. They were trying to trade him. Nobody's taken that contract. So they had to eat the money. And it's really sad, and that means that this, to me, points that they are definitely trading Deshaun Watson. This also means that as well. I think J.J. Watt wanted out. I don't think he'll ever admit that because of the Watson stuff, and he knows that that team's going to be terrible. So I'm sure they're secretly shopping him as well, but he didn't want it leaked publicly. And it's funny because they were talking about it on NFL Morning on NFL Network, apparently, and here we are. Ian Rappaport breaks the news. J.J. Watt makes the video. Destinations for J.J. Watt. I think that some of these teams that are a player away from potentially being a real threat. Green Bay, I think, would be a good fit for Watt. Seattle, I think the Cowboys should be in on J.J. Watt, although that would be a slap in the face to Texans fans. But the Cowboys have to consider it, in my opinion. I think that some other teams could be in play. Maybe the Steelers. He could be on the same team as his brother. I think that'd be cool. The Baltimore Ravens, I think, are absolutely in play. The Browns. Tennessee, although that's in division. The Raiders have to be in consideration. The Broncos. I can't see him going to the Chiefs, although that pass rush was exposed in the Super Bowl. I cannot see him going to the Bucs. Or maybe he does go to the Bucs and replaces Shaq Barrett or one of those free agents. You never know. That'd be cool if he joined Brady and Gronk on the Bucks. I mentioned Seattle. Maybe like a team that's maybe has a young quarterback. I mentioned Denver. Maybe the Giants. I could see the Jets potentially going out and trying as well. The Dolphins will certainly be in play. Buffalo. But I do think that J.J. Watt wants to go to the contender. And I think I predicted him to be traded, if I'm not mistaken. But personally, I think the best fit for Watt would be Seattle. Because I think they need bad help on the pass rush. And I think that him on the Seahawks makes a lot of sense. I also think that Buffalo's a great fit. I think Baltimore's a great fit. You have to think the Browns are going to be involved as well. And even the Bengals, for that matter. Heck, I can see the Jaguars involved because I think they're going to try to rush it a little bit with Lawrence there potentially, who, by the way, is getting a workout with the Jaguars today. But, yeah, the Texans could have traded J.J. Watt and received a solid draft pick, but they decided to do it this way, handling it this way with class. But yeah, I think they tried to trade him. I think they tried to trade him, but they won't admit it. But I just don't think there are any suitors that want to pay a hefty price for a guy that that's still pretty good. But apparently, J.J. Watt asked for the release, and the sides agreed to part ways. And he does want to play elsewhere. So he wanted out. He wanted a release. He didn't want to be traded. Well, that's crazy. And that's a bad look on the Texans. They could have gotten a first-round pick if a team was silly enough to do that for J.J. Watt. And maybe even a second. They could have gotten 2 picks for J.J. Watt. But no, they decided to release him because he demanded a release. All right, maybe we'll talk more about this on Monday's show. Best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. There was one that stood out to me in college basketball. I'm laying the 1.5 with Cleveland State against Detroit. Or is it that one? Or who's 1.5 against somebody? And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Oh, Northern Kentucky, 1.5 against Green Bay is the other one. It's between those two. I do like both of them very much. But I'm going to lay it with Cleveland State. I feel much better about laying it with Cleveland State than I do with Northern Kentucky laying it against Green Bay. So Cleveland State -3 at home against Detroit is my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the podcast. I'll be back Monday recapping everything from the weekend. To college basketball, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, Australian Open. Look ahead to everything on Monday. And any other news that happens in the world of sports and pop culture I'll have for you as well. Hope you have a fabulous holiday weekend, everybody.